Hello everyone, welcome to Career Point Electrical. So, we'll discuss electrical machine. Subject is transformer, and today we'll discuss construction of transformer. So, the construction of transformer is two types. That is, one is core, another is winding. So, for that, this video will discuss only the transformer core, and the next video will discuss the transformer winding. So now, for that, if you are preparing for GATE electrical, then you may go to the video and hit the bell icon and subscribe the video. So now, for that construction, that is, one is core and another is winding. Now for that, you see, this is my transformer. Okay, now this one is your core of the transformer, this one is the core of the transformer, and there are two windings. One is primary winding, and there is secondary winding. So now again, question is, there are two types of core, that is air core and iron core. So as you know, in transformer iron core is used. So in transformer iron core is used. So why in transformer iron core is used? So for that, you go compare the air core in transformer and iron core. So this is the symbol of air core, this is my air core, and this is my iron core. This is air core and this is iron core. So why it is called air core? In between the winding air is present, but in between the winding iron is present. So this is called iron core and this is called air core. Now for the transformer or construction of transformer, we use iron core transformer. So why? Because first point is the permeability mu is high for iron core. Number two is reluctance is high, power factor is high, and I magnetizing current IM is low for iron core. Okay, now number three is mechanical strength. If you go for good mechanical strength is high for iron core. Okay, number four is core losses is low for air core. Okay, now you see this, if mu is high, that is permeability high, iron core is preferred. If reluctance is high, power factor is high, and IM is low, iron core is preferred. For mechanical strength, good mechanical strength, iron core is preferred, and for low copper losses or core losses, air core is preferred. So due to this, iron core is used in the transformer core. Okay, now again we'll discuss what is the retentivity properties. So for retentivity properties, you go the magnetic materials. So there are two types of magnetic materials. That is, one is soft magnet, Number 2 is hard magnet. Now, for hard magnet is of three types, that is ferromagnetic materials, number 2 is ferrimagnetic materials, and super paramagnetic or paramagnetic material. Paramagnetic materials. Okay, now as you know, there are three types of hard magnet. One is ferromagnetic materials, another is ferrimagnetic materials, and third one is paramagnetic materials. Now, for ferromagnetic materials, ferromagnet are of two types, that is soft ferro magnetic materials, another is hard ferromagnetic material. Again, for ferrimagnetics, that is your ferrimagnetic material is also two types, that is soft ferro and hard ferro. Okay, now for paramagnetic materials, that is your paramagnetics, is of two types, soft para and hard paramagnetic material. Okay, now so this is the magnetic materials. So for electrical machine we use soft magnetic materials. Why you use soft magnetic materials? Due to the soft magnetic material are easily magnetized and demagnetized. So for electrical machine we use soft magnetic materials. Why we use soft magnetic materials? Due to the soft magnetic materials are easily magnetized or demagnetized. So that the example of soft magnetic materials are iron or steel. So for electrical machine, the core of the machine are made up of either iron or steel. That is your soft magnetic materials. So generally in electrical machine, silicon steel are used. So why silicon steel are used? Because silicon steel has certain advantages. What is the advantages? That is, it has a ferromagnetic materials and it has a super magnetic properties. Ferromagnetic materials and has super magnetic properties. It has super magnetic properties. Super magnetic properties. Okay, now number 2 is silicon steel has high permeability and low reluctance. So as you previously discussed, in the transformer core, high permeability and low reluctance is preferred, and the silicon steel has high permeability and low reluctance, so that in transformer core we use silicon steel. Again, it has a low hysteresis coefficient. So for that, WH is equal to mu V max X FV. So what is my X? X is the hysteresis coefficient and the X value is 1.5 to 2.5, and for silicon it has 1.6. The hysteresis coefficient is 1.6, so that it has low hysteresis loss. Okay, so number 3 is it has low hysteresis coefficient due to the lower hysteresis coefficient, it has low hysteresis loss. And number 4 is we use only 4 to 5% or add only 4 to 5% of the silicon to the steel. So why 4 to 5% of the steel is added? Because to reduce conductivity, okay, to reduce the conductivity we use only 4 to 5%. So another way to reduce the conductivity, that is your lamination process. So we will discuss the lamination process later. First we will use the why the conductivity is reduced. To use 4 to 5% of the silicon, conductivity of the core is reduced. So why, if the conductivity of the core is reduced, then we get low eddy current losses, okay. So for silicon steel we get low hysteresis loss, also low eddy current losses, okay. Now high permeability and low reluctance. Now for that we'll just discuss what is the orientation of the silicon steel. So for that orientation, it is a body centered cubic orientation. The silicon steel has body centered cubic orientation. So what is my body centered cubic orientation? That is this is my body centered cubic orientation. A, B, C, D. Okay, so the silicon steel has body centered cubic orientation. Okay, now for that the permeability of the orientation or cubic permeability it depends on orientation of magnetization. Okay, now for that the permeability of the silicon steel depends on the orientation of the magnetization. So there are three types of orientation of the magnetization. Number one is along the edge. Number two is along the diagonal of same face. Number three is along the diagonal of opposite face. Okay, now for that mu AB is greater than mu AC is greater than mu AD. Okay, now for that the permeability of the diagonal of the edge is greater than the permeability of the diagonal of the same face or permeability of the diagonal of the opposite face. So mu AB is greater than mu AC and mu AD. Okay, now practically the grain of the silicon steel are irregularly arranged so that some grains are of high permeability and some grains are of low permeability, so that the overall permeability of the silicon steel is reduced. For that we just draw a figure, that is, if it is a silicon steel, then this is my grain 1. It has high mu, to low mu, low mu 3, high mu 4. Okay, now you see that this is the structure of my silicon steel cubic structure. They are the grains of the silicon steel are irregularly arranged, irregularly arranged. So due to this irregular arrangement, some grains offer high permeability and some grains offer low permeability. So due to this, the overall permeability is reduced. So that what then again question is why, how we increase the permeability of the silicon steel. So there are two processes to increase the permeability of the silicon steel, that is to arrange all the grains for high permeability. So that we use two techniques, that is CRGO. Number one is CRGO or HRGO, CRGO steel or HRGO steel. So what is CRGO? Cold rolled grain orientation. And what is HRGO? That is a hot rolled grain orientation steel. So for that we use CRGO steel or HRGO steel. So what is the process of CRGO steel? For that, silicon steel is passed through a heavy roller. It is passed through a heavy roller. So if I pass the silicon steel to a roller, then the grains of the silicon steel is arranged. For that, if it is irregularly arranged, then it is arranged with a regular orientation. Regular orientation. This is my silicon steel, and it is a CRGO steel. So the silicon steel is passes through to a heavy roller and it is converted to CRGO steel, that is the irregular orientation of the silicon steel is converted to regular orientation, so that the permeability of the silicon steel is increases. Now for that we convert that. This is my orientation. So all the orientation are arranged. That is 1, 2, 3, 4. All are high permeability. High permeability. Okay. So due to the high permeability, we use CRGO steel as a core in the transformer. Okay. Now this is all about the silicon steel. Now for CRGO steel, the Bmax value of the CRGO steel is 1.8 to 2 T, but the Bmax value of HRGO steel is 1.6 to 1.67 T. So that for that, these are the conclusion we draw in the CRGO steel, that is for Bmax is greater than CRGO, then HRGO, then silicon. So compared to the three material, CRGO has highest Bmax, but area of the core is reduced in the CRGO steel as compared to HRGO and silicon, and mu value of the CRGO is highest as compared to HRGO and silicon, and also I mu value is low for CRGO steel as compared to HRGO and silicon. So that another advantages of this CRGO steel has, it has the grain or the flux or flow in the edge of the core, that is linear flux. We get linear flux in CRGO steel, so that in transformer CRGO steel are used, but for rotating machine, we get non-linear flux, so that in rotating machine CRGO steel are not used, it is only used in the transformer core. Again we see the magnetization curve, that is the curve drawn between B and H. So that what is my magnetization curve? H, this is my B, so this is phi flux, it is IE, that is CRGO, then silicon, then mild steel and iron. So you that for a magnetization curve you get highest amount of B value, in CRGO steel, high B value, B max. Okay, so maximum you get the B value is maximum. For that, if B max is maximum, we get the permeability is high permeability, and I mu is low. So due to this, we use CRGO steel as a core of the transformer. Okay, so this is the conclusion, that we get CRGO steel as a core of the transformer. Now for that, again we will discuss how to reduce eddy current losses. That is, to reduce the eddy current losses, we use CRGO steel, and another method is in the lamination process. So now we will discuss what is the lamination process. So the transformer core is generally made up of thin strip called lamination. So why lamination is used? Because to reduce the eddy current losses, we use lamination process. That is, in transformer core we use thin strip coil. Now this is my lamination process. So again we use, this is my to reduce area for lamination, eddy current loss reduce, and the insulating material present in between the lamination are, that is an oxide paint, will use red oxide, again in organic paints and 3 impregnated paper. Again we use transformer oil to increase the dielectric of the transformer, so that due to the lamination we get two area of the core, that is, first one is your net cross sectional area, that is equal to A net is equal to area A core, and second one is the gross cross sectional area, that is A gross is equal to area of the core into area of the lamination. So for area of the lamination and area of the core we get gross cross sectional area. So what is A core? A core is the area of the magnetic materials, and what is the A lamination? That is the area of the lamination. So that A gross is equal to L into B, that is length into breadth. Now, but the flux phi is flowing in the net cross sectional area, that is B max into A net. So flux is not flowing in the gross cross sectional area, it is flowing in the net cross sectional area. So that what is my stacking factor, that is Ks is equal to A net divided by A gross, and it is value is 1 for solid core and is less than 1 for laminated core. Okay, next we will discuss the cross-sectional area of the core. There are three types of cross-sectional area. One is square cross-sectional area, number two is circular cross-sectional area, and number three is stepped cross-sectional area. So this is the figure of the square cross-sectional area, and this is the stepped cross-sectional area of the core. Now, for these two, stepped and square, always in transformers, stepped cross-sectional area is used. Then why stepped cross-sectional area is used? It has certain advantages. What is the advantage? The number one is the circumference of the core is reduced so that the diameter of the core is reduced. So, for the less diameter of the circumcircle, the less insulating material are used. And number three is the length per 1 ton is less, so that the less copper is used. So for use of stepped circular cross-sectional area, we get less diameter of the core, less insulating materials, and less copper loss. So that this is, for that reason we always used stepped cross-sectional area of the transformer, so that due to this the weight and the length of the transformer is reduced. Also the area of the transformer is reduced. Next we will discuss types of core used in the transformer, that is types of core used in transformer. Okay, now as you know, the flux is produced in the core and transfer from one core to another core. So in the core there are two types of core, that is, so that this is my transformer core, okay. Now if this is my transformer core and this is your yoke, core is made up of yoke, and this is my limb, this is my limb, and this is my yoke. So core has two parts, one is yoke and number two is limb. Okay, now then what is yoke? Yoke is the horizontal part of the core, and what is limb? Limb, so in limb the flux returning path of the flux is provided in the limb, and as you know, okay, now so winding is provided in the yoke, sorry, in the limb, and the yoke has the returning path of flux. Okay, so as you see in the figure, the transformer winding is provided in the limb, and yoke has the returning path, so that the area of the yoke is 40% more than the area of the limb. Why? To reduce the reluctance, that is your S is equal to 1 by A. If it is reduced, then area of the core is increases. So that the, what is my conclusion? The area of yoke has 40% more than area of limb. Okay, this is all about yoke and limb. Next we will discuss what is the difference between core type and cell type transformer. So what is the difference between the core type and cell type transformer? As you see, this is the figure of core type transformer and this is the figure of cell type transformer. So referring to the figure, core type transformer has two yoke and two limbs, but in cell type transformer, two limbs, three yokes. This is one yoke, this is one yoke, and this is one yoke, but it is one limb and this is another limb. So in core type transformer, two limb, two yoke, but in cell type transformer there are two limbs and three yoke. Next point is core is surrounded by the winding in core type transformer, but in cell type transformer winding is surrounded by the core. So next is all the limbs are covered by the winding, but only the inner limb, this is my inner limbs, are covered by the winding. Next is leakage flux is more, so that power transfer capability is low in core type transformer, but in cell type transformer leakage flux is less, so the power transfer capability is high. Next is core type transformer is used series magnetic circuit, but in cell type parallel magnetic circuit are used.